Welcome back. Advanced placement classes can set applicants apart when applying to college, but which of those classes should students take to make them stand out? And are they worth it in the end? Joining us now, publisher of Potential Magazine, Pam Mashburn, for our Parent to Parent segment. She also brought along June Garzon, who is going to talk to us a little bit about whether those are myths that we hear about advanced placement classes, or if they really can help your student succeed when they get to college. It's so good to see you. It's summertime, so people are thinking, why are we talking about school and all that stuff? This is the time to do it.
Right. Well, you know, all of the kids are redoing their schedules, and parents are getting ready. You know, I know we don't want to think about the fall, but it is really important.
It'll be here before you know it.
It will be. And, you know, this is a huge stressor. There are a lot. You know, when we were in school, there were probably, you know, not as many AP classes. I think we had like a handful. And now there's a ton of them. I feel like it just started. It was just getting started when I was in high school. But I remember taking some type of math AP class and an English AP class. You said there are so many out there. How do you distinguish which one is best for your child, or do you let them do that?
Really, it's in the best interest of the child to go to their strengths. Some students are stronger in science and math. Some students are stronger in English and history. So whatever the strength of the child, that would be the area that you would be looking at considering taking an AP class. But again, an AP class has advantages. It also has disadvantages. It can definitely help with the GPA, and of course there's going to be an advanced level of learning in an AP class. And it might be considered for college placement, but if it's going to be too strong for a child, and they're not going to be successful, it might not be in the student's best interest.
So this is extra work for some of them.
Absolutely.
And they might not be prepared for it.
They might not be prepared. It is advanced placement classes, known as AP classes, are college level classes. So we're asking high schoolers to really achieve at a higher level.
Yeah, so this is something you really need to have a discussion about and think about. So what questions do parents need to ask themselves and ask their students?
Well, one thing I would say is with my first child, which I made a lot of mistakes. Sorry, Spencer. You know, I felt that peer pressure from other parents to sign him up for, because he's a smart kid. He needs to be in every AP class, and he had to quit football. And so it was really tough. It was a tough decision, and looking back in hindsight, I wish he hadn't quit football. I wish he had not taken as many AP classes.
Yes.
And I know you talk about that too,
That
June.
is a strong consideration of life balance. Also, stress consideration. If it's going to greatly increase a student's stress level to take an AP or multiple AP classes, it might not be in the student's best interest. But life balance, these are students, they're teenagers, there's so much in life to explore at this age that if they're having to sacrifice other activities, clubs, friend engagements, social engagements, potentially church engagements, whatever their outside lives are, if they're having to sacrifice those just for the sake of increased studies, it might not be the best balance choice.
Well, and you know, it's great to hear it from June, because June helps students get into colleges, especially like higher level colleges, and she helps them find scholarships and helps those parents. That's, you know, she works one-on-one with people, and for you to say that, we need to have it more balanced.
Definitely.
Now, one of the things that that is great about AP is that if you do get college credit, it saves you money, right?
It does.
So it's an investment.
It can be a future investment, meaning if a child performs well on the May AP College Board exam, and when I say well, the maximum grade is a 5. Most times if a student makes a 4 or a 5, then the college that they'll be attending will accept that as college credit, meaning the child doesn't have to take that college course, ultimately saving the parent money and potentially allowing the student to get their degree maybe a little bit sooner,
which that's a
in
positive,
the long run is a money saver.
Yeah.
But on the other hand,
yes,
you know, most college students don't pass a course with one test.
True.
You know, we get grades along the way for participation and homework and that kind of stuff. So it is a little bit different than college in that way. But I mean, I think that the test costs around $100, and a
Exactly.
class would cost $1,500.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it is a big savings.
If you
can
look
be
at it as an
savings.
investment, and if they do well, then
Exactly,
oh my
if they do
goodness, the
well.
return is very big.
It can be substantial.
So who do they talk to about these courses and whether or not they should do it? Is this somebody they should see at the school about that? Who do they talk to about that?
Absolutely. So like Pam mentioned, I'm an independent educational consultant, so I work individually with students and parents, high school students and parents, and I do the legal, ethical guidance to college applications, but also high school counselors. The high school counselor is the student's best resource for being able to talk to them about what would be the best fit for that individual student, the highest consideration, and the counselor can help guide them.
But, okay, I'm like the advocate. But the other thing to think about is that most of our high school counselors have like 200 kids that they're responsible for. So
Yes.
parents, we need to really look at, and one of the things that we talked about was the GPA. So if you take an AP class, instead of like, you know how it's on the 4.0 scale, you can actually get an extra point. So if you got an A, you actually get 5. So you can make over 4.0, right?
Yeah.
But if you don't do well, then what happens?
It can hurt the GPA. If you don't do well in the AP class, it can really take a hit to the GPA. The other consideration is if a student is taking one AP class and investing all their time and energy in that one AP class,
They could fall behind
they
in the
could
other
fall
ones.
behind in the other classes. So it's not really an ultimate win.
Yeah, it
But
goes back
do
to
the
that
colleges
balance you were
care?
talking
But
about.
do the colleges look at it and say, okay, this child took a ton of AP classes and this one didn't, so I'm going to pick that one? Do they look at that?
Or do they just look at the GPA?
Yeah.
Most colleges look at the GPA.
Yeah.
Again, it's a numbers game.
Right.
The admissions office is going through so many applications that they don't have a lot of time to spend per application, so they're looking at the overall GPA. Some of the smaller colleges, the more selective colleges, the private liberal arts colleges, they might take a little bit more time and look at the course selection per student.
Yeah.
Most larger universities are going to look at the overall GPA.
Okay, you can go to potentialmagazine.com, potential.com,
No,
potentialmagazine.com.
potentialmagazine.com. Come on, Tanya. You know this.
I should know this. It's about balance. I have a lot of
It's
things
about
going on in
balance.
my
That's
head
true, you
today. So potentialmagazine.com to find out what Pam talks about and what teens are talking about in the community. If they want to find out more about what you do as a consultant, you can talk to them a little bit more about their specific needs. How do they reach you?
Absolutely. Again, my name is June Garzon, and my website is www.junegarzon.com, JUNEGARZON. And I'll be happy just call. I'm happy to just chat, consult, give you some ideas, no problem.
Thank you so much, both of you. Always
Thank
good
you.
information.
Thank
Hopefully you've
you.
helped some kids make some decisions. It sounds
Tough
like
decisions.
AP
Yeah.
classes are great, but be sure you are ready to work and do well on those,
Absolutely.
and you should be fine. Well, thank you so much,
you.
both of you.
Thanks.